Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the All Too Real 2 podcast. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is my co-host,
Matthew Haas.
How are you doing, Matthew?
I am doing very well.
That is good. You sound very enthusiastic.
I'm very enthusiastic about this movie.
Yes. Today, we are covering the 1994 direct-to-video sequel to the 1992 movie Aladdin. The movie, The Return of Jafar. Yes.
He's back.
He's back. In black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kind of wore black.
No, he was in red a lot too.
Yeah.
Red and black.
Yes. Back. Anyways, this was the first ever Disney direct-to-video sequel. Of their animated films, at least. And, just come on down. Come on by. Grab a carpet and fly. To another Arabian Night, my friends. Yes. Another Arabian Night. Just like Arabian Days. Something about hotter than hot and something. I don't know the lyrics. Anyways, so this was an animated musical fantasy adventure film, according to Wikipedia. It was produced by Walt Disney Television Animation, which you can tell because the animation is not quite as glorious or good as the 1992 film. What are your initial reactions to this movie right now, Matt, before I go into more details?
Just that it was kind of boring. That the pacing just wasn't very... I don't know, it was only 69 minutes long, and that's probably including credits. It still felt like it was the feature-length film of Aladdin, just because... I don't know, a lot of it seemed like it just kind of dragged on at times. Like, some scenes were too long, other scenes were too short, it seemed like. I don't know.
Do you want to take a guess on how many people wrote the screenplay to this movie?
Sure, what, 2?
Yeah, you'd think, maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. 8 people wrote this movie.
Wow.
Yes. Kevin Campbell, Mirth Callow, or something. Bill Motz, Steve Roberts, Dev Ross, Bob Roth, Jan Stranad, and Brian Swinlin. These people have weird names, by the way. No offense to you people if you're listening, because Cullen probably sounds weird to people, I'm just saying. Anyways, so, and then on top of that, the story was by Dwayne Capsey, Douglas Langdale, Mark McCorkle, Robert Shuley, and Tad Stones. Yeah, Tad Stones was also one of the directors along with Alan Zaslov. So there's 2 directors of this movie as well.
So they had a lot of people working on this, basically.
Yes.
And, turned out okay.
The thing I find interesting is it's called Return of Jafar. Jafar is actually really not in the movie a lot. And, I would actually call this movie The Return of Iago.
Yeah, he's like the main
character. The main character of the movie is Iago. So,
but I guess that doesn't sound as cool as Return of Jafar, does it?
No.
Return of Iago.
And we did have most of the original cast returning, with the exception of the big exception, at least, was the genie is now played by Dan Castellaneta. Castellaneta. Sorry, I cannot say that. Who is better known as Homer Simpson and Krusty the Clown, among other characters on The Simpsons. So yeah, he also did the voice on the animated series Aladdin as well. He does a decent Robin Williams impersonation.
He was all right. Yeah, the genie wasn't that bad in this movie.
No.
He had some funny songs, and his whole shtick. But you did say something about how he was still wearing the armbands or the wristbands.
Yeah, he's still got those those gold cuffs or whatever you want to call them that the genie had taken off at the end of the first movie to symbolize the fact that he was no longer beholden to a master. But now he's got them back on. I don't know if it was a fashion choice in the genie's idea, or the animators decided, hey, he looks better with them, or what, or both.
I think he does, just because when they showed him without him once, it just looked like empty. I don't know, it just seemed weird, I guess.
Seemed naked.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I think they just put it.
It's kind of like how I recently saw that which they're going to fix, that Sonic the Hedgehog trailer, and Sonic doesn't have gloves, and he just looks weird without gloves.
I didn't even see the trailer. I just saw that picture, and I'm like, man, it looks messed up.
Yeah, you should watch the trailer. It's interesting. Yeah, they've now since said that they are going to reanimate the character. I hope they put gloves on him.
Something, yeah,
because he needs gloves.
But man, this movie, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling it.
No, this movie, it wasn't that it was bad.
It's just bland is what it was. It was just
okay. It's worth watching. It's basically, you can tell it was made by a television animation crew. It was basically the setup for the animated series in a way. But yeah, it's definitely not as enjoyable as the first movie, which is my favorite Disney animated movie.
Because you mentioned a score even. was like kind of like harkening back to some of the old songs from the first one. But
Well, I mean,
not really.
first you're opening up with like the redo of Arabian Nights right at the beginning, which was the opening to the first movie. It's like they just replayed the song basically. It's like, hey, you know, they do have a lot of original songs, and most of them sung by Gilbert Gottfried as Iago, because you know the most beautiful voice in the world is Gilbert Gottfried.
Right.
Yes.
Like you said, if he wasn't in this movie, it would have been like really, really bad. Like,
Oh yeah, like basically, I don't think I've ever said this in my life. The saving grace of this thing was Gilbert Gottfried.
because he was like, well, that's
Mind you, I do love Gilbert Gottfried, and I mean, I listen to his podcast from time to time. He's hilarious. So you know, Gilbert, if you're listening, which I hope you are, because that'd be awesome. Please have me on your podcast.
Yeah.
And you can come on mine too, you know. Love you, brother. Anyways, so, yeah. So basically, the plot of this movie, it takes place a year after the first movie. And Aladdin and Abu have settled into their palace with Princess Jasmine and her father, the Sultan, who is also voiced by a new actor in this movie. I'd look it up, but I don't really care to. Anyways, they're still, you know, they're yearning for adventures and stuff like that. So at the beginning of the movie, they just, we open up with the character voiced by Jason Alexander named Abiz Mal. What does that sound like, Matt?
I'm gonna just wager a guess that it means abysmal.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very clever.
Yes. Abiz Mal, and he was he and his little band of merry men decide to steal a bunch of treasure from some cave or something, and Aladdin, the carpet, and Genie. And not Genie. No, Genie's not back yet. I mean, Abu, sorry. Come in and they basically thwart their efforts and steal all the jewels and everything. And then they decide to do a whole Robin Hood type thing and give them to the people of Agrabah.
Yep. Just throwing coins and treasure down
On the streets.
On the floor. I mean, yeah, the streets and...
Yeah. Some woman, you know, is like, "Oh, it's a miracle."
Like, no, it's not. It was a guy throwing coins from the sky on a magic carpet.
Yeah, a magic carpet.
It's not miracle. It's normal stuff.
Just normal magic and stuff.
Normal magic.
So you also had, like, towards the beginning of the movie, you find that Iago has escaped from the lamp that he and Jafar were put into at the end of the previous film. And he throws the lamp down a big well.
Right, after having a huge argument, though, with Jafar about, you know, saying that he needs him and all this kind of stuff. And then Iago's like, "No, you need me, actually." I forgot, how did he manage to get out of the lamp? Just because he's smaller?
Yeah, probably. And plus, I don't think he was necessarily, like, beholden to it. He was just kind of, like, there because he was Jafar's buddy.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'm just hanging out here with you for a while.
Yeah. But after he throws the lamp into the well, Iago returns to Agrabah, you know, and he's singing a big song. He had a big musical number, first big one of the movie. Where it's about, you know, basically saying that, you know, I'm gonna be myself and stuff like that, which, you know, is a good uplifting message for people. Like this whole movie.
I'm gonna be my trickster self and lie to people and manipulate them and you know.
But if that's who you are, be the best trickster that you can be.
Exactly.
If we've learned anything in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next, I'm trying to remember what happens next.
Well, He like makes himself look all rough to make Aladdin feel sorry for him. So he puts a bunch of dirt all over his feathers and was like crawling around like he's
because he sees Al and Abu,
and he gives him like some sob story about how he was enchanted by Jafar's like magic staff or whatever to like hypnotize him or whatever
to become evil,
even though he was already
did it of his own free will.
Yeah, he was already his partner, I think, before that. And then Aladdin, he's like, he feels sorry for him. Well, not really, because at first he's skeptical and he wants to like beat him up, but then Abu Small and his gang show up right at that moment too, right?
Yeah.
Then they get into a fight, and then Iago, I guess, saves Aladdin. So now Aladdin feels like, he's beholden now to Iago for saving his life. So he's gonna try to convince the Sultan that he's
a good guy.
He didn't really mean to betray him. It was just because Jafar threatened him or also hypnotized him or whatever. So
and then Aladdin he keeps him on the palace grounds, but he still puts him in a cage and stuff. And at some point, Abbot Small, he finds and takes possession of Jafar and the lamp, and basically becomes the new, Aladdin sort of thing. He gets his 3 wishes, and he wastes 2 of them right away.
That's right, because he's like a stupid thief. He's the leader too, but
how he became the leader, I don't know.
Because they're dumber than he is, so it's like, he's.
But I mean, Jason Alexander's good at playing a guy with great schemes and stuff like that, and then not following through with them and everything like he did on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he basically wasted his first 2 wishes. Like I said, one of them was to wish for this big buried treasure in the sea, but Jafar just puts him in the sea on the boat that's sunken ship, and so then he has to wish for his wish to be back in the desert so he can breathe, and so he doesn't get his treasure.
So that's 2 wishes right there.
Yeah. So then now he's got a 3rd, but he's not going to use it right away because Jafar has this big scheme to basically take out Aladdin and take control of Agrabah.
He's so obsessed with this being in power of this particular city for some reason.
Yes. Do you want to take a break here, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We've been talking for about 15 minutes here. Yeah. So this is fun, folks.
Yeah, stay tuned.
We'll be right back after a word from somebody. Hey, folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So it
was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way. Anyways, so sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye. And we are
back again.
Guess who's back? Jafar's back.
Yeah.
So basically then we have Jafar doing some kind of nefarious plan or whatever. At some point, I'm kind of speeding through this here a little bit here now. At some point, the genie comes back with a nice little musical number talking about how he traveled everywhere from the Rio Grande to China and whatnot. And the one thing that he didn't have was a friend.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
So he said the one thing that was missing was you guys. So he missed Jasmine and Aladdin and Abu and the carpet and the Sultan and
the tiger.
The tiger.
What's his name?
Raja.
Raja, yeah.
Yeah. If it's a he, I don't know if it's he or a girl.
I think it's she, actually.
Yeah, I think Raja's a female name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
This
movie's so much fun.
I'm trying to remember.
It's like I didn't hate the movie
because we were talking through it at some point.
Yeah.
So we might have missed a few things, but
yeah,
I do remember the bit. Okay, so brass tacks. So basically, I think what happens is showed. Okay, it's when Jafar finds Iago, and that's really what turns the movie into the second part of the movie.
Yeah,
and he basically threatens him to betray Aladdin and them again, or kill him, or whatever.
He gets them, and
then that sets off the new.
Yeah, and they capture the Sultan, and then they pin the Sultan's death. They fake his death and pin it on Aladdin. Aladdin gets put into prison. Jafar morphs into Jasmine and basically sentences Aladdin to death by beheading the next morning. It's like a kids' movie.
Pretty brutal for Disney, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't show it. So
well, I know they don't show it,
yeah.
But
yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Bambi's mom was killed in Bambi, so
yeah.
You know, Disney's not one to shy away from death.
True. But beheading is his own special, I think.
Yeah.
Creepy form of.
Yeah, this was 1994 though, so beheading wasn't as bad back then. Anyways, just joking.
It wasn't as bad.
It didn't hurt as much.
It was before ISIS, so it wasn't as bad.
It wasn't as bad of beheading. I'm going to hell. Anyways, so yeah, anyways, Jafar is, I mean, not Jafar, Iago's feeling bad about helping Jafar. He ends up rescuing them all by breaking open this thing that the genie's caught in, like this crystal ball sort of thing that he's inside of. Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he drops it and breaks it open, and then the genie saves Aladdin at the last minute.
Yeah.
Before his head is chopped off.
What were you saying, too? Like, you know, he's a effing bird. Can he just pick it up? And
yeah, because he kept trying to pick it up, and he was picking it up, like, with his wings and trying to drop it. And I'm like, from the ledge he was on, and I'm like, you're a bird. You can fly. Pick it up with your freaking feet.
And drop it.
And drop it. And then he does that.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. After several attempts, and he wasn't able to. So anyways, Iago frees them or whatever, and, you know, helps. And then there's a big battle, basically, between Jafar and everybody, and they're trying to get the lamp away from him because Abismal still has one wish left of his 3 wishes, and Jafar is trying to convince him to wish him free, kind of like the genie did in the first movie. Anyways, but Abismal doesn't want to do that because he's like, hey, you know, I want treasures and stuff like that. So Jafar gives him a bunch of treasures, including that ship that he was in earlier, and takes him. You know, he says, well, but how do I know that you're not going to take all this away once I wish you free? And, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, he's maybe not that stupid, you know what I'm just saying?
Well, when it comes, I think when it comes
to money,
it might click a little, like, wait a minute, you know, but normally
I'm going to get screwed. And
well, that's a good point, because if he didn't wish for it, he could conjure all that stuff up, but that might just be like an illusion type of thing.
Yeah.
It might not be real. So
It's basically with a wish, you've kind of got a contract.
right.
It's like...
And even if he decided to not take it away from him, it might still disappear anyway, which Jafar probably would take it away just on purpose, just to be an asshole. But
Yeah, basically, it's like if you're an actor or any kind of talent, work with a contract, because if you don't have a contract, then the people don't necessarily have to pay you. Anyways, I'm not saying this from personal experience or anything. From being a assistant director and other things on films and acting in them,
no,
and never getting paid. Anyways, so we're gonna this is just my personal experience, folks. Anyways, Jafar. Anyways, so there's a basic little war between the two of them and everything, and they're trying to get the lamp, and they keep having things get in their way, so they can't get the lamp. Conveniently, stuff falls in front of them as somebody tries to grab the lamp, and blah blah blah, and
lava is involved.
yeah, somehow Jafar wishes lava or something, or not wishes, but produces nice little cracks in the earth and lava underneath.
And he also turns carpet into like a board.
Yeah.
Like a wooden board.
And eventually, Iago gets the lamp and tries to save the day, which he ends up doing because he throws the lamp into the lava.
Yeah.
And the lamp disintegrates, and then Jafar somehow turns into fireworks or something.
Yeah, somehow that killed Jafar, as far as we know. Killed Jafar just because the lamp was destroyed, which I didn't know that was one of the rules of magic in Aladdin, that as long as you destroy the lamp, that you would also destroy the person that's attached to it. I guess it kind of makes sense, because if your magic is conjoined to that device, then...
Plus, Disney has its own little rules about these things, because, the whole 3 wishes thing was created by Disney anyways, right. So...
Well, because that raises the stakes. I mean, if you have a thing
unlimited,
that's so there's nothing you can ever do wrong.
Yeah.
I wish. Well, that thing sucked. I didn't mean to do that. Or I unwish that. And there's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's I wish my living room was painted pink. Oh no, I don't like pink. Okay, I want it blue. No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
They kind of needed that.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, so then they're all free, and the Sultan has been trying to make Aladdin his vizier, his royal vizier, his number 1 advisor. And but Aladdin doesn't want it. And Iago's like, why don't you want it? And so basically what the reason is because he wanted to see the world. And so then Jasmine and him decide to go see the world together.
Yeah.
And they kiss, and we have a happy ending. They kissed, right, or something? I think. I don't know.
I think they kissed.
Yeah.
That kind of reminded me, too, about when you talked about characters or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this last time when we tried to watch it last time. At first, it almost seemed like Jasmine had a completely different personality than she did in the first movie.
Yeah,
she was all giddy and in the first movie she was much more I'm independent, but then she went back into that as the movie progressed. So
I mean, it could be at the first because she was kind of giddy and stuff, because she's in love, and it's more of the whole it's my boyfriend, being all stuff like that. But I mean, I will say that this and the other movie really don't pass what they call the Bechdel test when it comes to women's represent the Bechdel test, which is it's a thing. I can't remember. There's this psychologist or something that created this. Her last name was Bechdel, and it's basically a test where you can apply it to any kind of media. And in the media, there has to be a scene, at least one scene in the movie, especially if it's a movie or something, or the TV episode or whatever, or the book, where there are 2 identified women with names who talk to each other about something other than a guy.
Wow.
You'd be surprised at how many things do not pass this.
Really?
Yeah, probably about 80% of films out there don't pass this. Yeah.
Like they could be talking about homework or something or anything.
Anything.
And then,
other than a guy.
Wow.
But there's a lot of movies, books, and TV shows where the only conversations that two women ever have together, they're talking about a man.
Okay, what if it just casually comes up while they're talking about something else? Does that count? Like if some guy walks by, oh, that guy looks cute, versus but 99% of the conversation.
Yeah, but that's still
okay.
That's still like if it's in the basically. It depends. Like there's this podcast I listen to sometimes called the Bechtel Cast, where they actually talk about movies and dissect this. I highly recommend that cast. Anyways, it's from the Stuff Network, the iHeartRadio's own Stuff Network. Anyways, they called the Bechtel Cast, and they talk about it and everything. And it's just like the way they limit it too is that there has to be at least like I think like 2 lines of dialogue between people. Between two women that
with names
with names, because it can't be like say there's a main female character talking to a banker who doesn't have a name.
Can't be like a cutaway scene either.
Yeah,
it's got to be like someone that's actually in the movie.
And I mean, it doesn't necessarily even have to be a main character, but as long as they have a name, it can't be like teller number 1.
Oh right, okay.
And their character doesn't have a name, but if like hey, that's
Tina or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then yeah. So the way that they do that is but they basically analyze these movies to see if it passes that, and then they also analyze a lot of the whole like sexual tropes and things like that in the movies. But yeah, it's just interesting because this movie, they did do an episode about the original Aladdin, which was really kind of interesting to listen to, and I highly recommend it. But basically Jasmine's the only named female character in the whole movie.
She's the only woman character. So.
Unless you count Raja.
Like yeah,
but Raja doesn't talk.
There's no one else except for like people on the street, maybe or whatever.
And then even when she's talking to Raja, most of the time she's talking about Aladdin.
Oh really?
Or something, or her dad, or something, some guy.
Or the guy that he's gonna marry.
And they don't even have to talk. And they don't even have to talk about the guy in a sexual or romantic way. It's basically like it could be two females sitting there talking about, oh well, boy, our boss is a jerk, and their boss is a guy or something. That sort of thing. Yeah, but it's just so funny how many movies don't pass that thing. But but this is basically Jasmine's really kind of a one-dimensional character in a lot of ways, unfortunately, in these movies. I mean, I think in the TV series she gets a little bit more dimension to her character, but she's still like the only female in that too, I think.
It's very small town. Well, not town, small palace, I guess.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like
she's the only female there.
We just know each other. That's it. We don't have any friends outside of this palace or whatever.
I mean, it's like even in the development of the original movie, Aladdin had a mom, and they cut her out.
That's right. But she was in the Good Times.
Oh yeah, the Good Times version that we we covered a couple weeks ago or something. Yeah, it's just
where she and both Aladdin just believed that some random dude was her deceased husband's brother, just because he claimed so. They're like, oh. Sure.
Which is actually in the original story of Aladdin, too. So
okay.
It's,
sure, we'll believe you. You've offered no, identification. I mean, of course, back then, I don't know what, but something to prove.
Yes.
I don't know, whatever. Something like a lineage thing or whatever. I don't know.
Some way to prove that you knew her brother.
I could just show up anywhere and just be like, I was your husband's brother.
Yeah.
Can I hang out here and just eat dinner? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I do know that which we may or may not cover in the future is the King of Thieves was a lot better movie, but still I don't think Jasmine had much of a dimension in that movie. But right now let's take another quick break here, Matt, and we'll come back and we'll look at some reviews of the film from some fans and stuff on the Internet Movie Database.
Hi, folks. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
manager Matthew Haas.
You got promoted?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, anyways, folks, do you like the show Superstore? Well, I don't know. I asked the folks and nobody's answering me.
Because they're not here.
Oh,
but we love
damn it. Yeah, we love it, though. Okay, folks, if you like it as much as we do, you're really going to like the Super Story podcast, which is a podcast where Matthew and I go episode by episode and give our little opinions and thoughts on it. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And, so if you like this podcast and like our little crazy banter,
then you should definitely check this out. Or I might get sad. And when I get sad, it gets pretty sad.
yeah,
So
I can't deal with him when he's sad.
yeah, no one can really. So
Yeah. So check out Super Story Podcast right here where you get this podcast, Super Story Podcast.
And we are back. I hope you enjoyed those products and or services or ads for another podcast of some sort or whatever the hell it was.
yeah.
Probably an ad for another podcast. Anyways, maybe it's an ad for a magic carpet.
Oh,
Did we get them as a
Get it?
sponsor yet?
you get it? What?
The magic carpet people?
Do they make magic carpets?
I don't know. I mean, if they're out there and you want to sponsor us, you can feel free to contact us. My email is mike@cullenpark.com. And
I want a magic carpet.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if they, because a lot of these podcasts have like they've got like mattresses that sponsor them. Like
Right. Yeah, a lot of them
like
do.
those
It's weird.
mattresses that can come in the mail and stuff.
I think it's because a lot of people listen to podcasts while laying down on mattresses.
Yeah, and
So
they're like,
hey,
this
well,
mattress sucks. I might as well order a
Yeah.
new one. But have you ever thought about it? Like I have a carpet in my living room. I'm looking at it right now because I'm recording in my house, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm looking at the carpet, and I was like, man, if that could fly. Now, if I could have an ad, a sponsor for this show that sold flying carpets,
Right.
if you're out there, I would love that because that'd be awesome.
I would be. I'll tell you what though, if they're not out there, I'll do what I can to enchant that carpet to become a magic carpet.
Does it hurt that I bought it on clearance?
Doesn't help.
Doesn't help. Okay. Just curious. And then it's not like a Persian rug or
It might
anything. It's
take
just like
a little bit more tinkering to make it work out.
I think it was Mainstay's Walmart brand carpet. I'm just wondering if that matters. So, anyways. And the good people at Mainstays, if you would like to sponsor our show, we'll take that too. Not disparaging the clearance Mainstays carpet that I have in my living room. So, anyways, I looked up some reviews here from the Internet Movie Database. This first one is from 2017. It's not that long ago, from a guy named Lee Eisenberg. Guy or girl, I don't know. Lee could be a girl's name too. And I want to read it just because I liked the title of the review. It's a Jafar cry from the original. Such a horrible. Anyways, Disney's Aladdin was one of the most lively animated features ever thanks to Robin Williams' wacky performance as the genie. So it's no surprise that without Williams, the straight-to-video sequel is a far inferior quality. But even if Williams had participated, it wouldn't have helped much. The whole movie is an uninspired excuse to make money. Truth is, had Williams provided the voice, it probably would have hurt his career. The movie might entertain the tykes for its running time, but I doubt that anyone over the age of 12 will enjoy it. Not worth your time, all in capital letters. On the subject of Agrabah, there was a poll a year or two ago, and a large number of people said that they supported the bombing of Agrabah, not realizing that it's a fictional city. That had nothing to do with the movie, but they decided to add that into their review. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, the next one I'm reading here, Matt, is from August of 2004. It's Les Mis Lover. Les Mis Lover, sorry. I just realized what that meant. I was like, okay, Les Mis Lover. I was reading it Les Miss Lover. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? But the headline to their thing is I can't recommend this. At first I thought it says I can't remember this. I'm like, I could see that too because it's kind of a forgettable plot.
Yeah, I'm like kind of forgot everything.
Yeah. It's like that, they used to say about Chinese food where like an hour later you're hungry. this is kind of how you feel about this movie. It's like an hour later, you're like, did I watch a movie?
Right.
This is Disney milking Aladdin fans for money. This is a terrible film, and I cannot recommend it to any fans of the original. The animation is poor, the plot is stupid, and it doesn't make sense. No Robin Williams, no humor. Iago turns into a protagonist. Give me a break. What nonsense. There are many mistakes in the animation. Yeah, I noticed that too. There was like a scene where there was like this vase with these flowers and this golden little flower that Aladdin got. Yeah, the number of flowers in the vase changed from 2 to 1 to none to 2 again to 1 again to none
to the little like ruby thing that was made to look like a flower.
Yeah, it was very bad.
Yeah.
It says this never went to the theaters, so it has no quality. That doesn't necessarily mean anything because there's plenty of movies that go direct to video that have great quality.
Yeah.
But this was 2004.
Like Big Fat Liar 2, you know.
Bigger, fatter liar, that is.
Yeah.
Anyways, the whole plot is stupid and isn't worth watching. We own the tape but have not watched it in approximately 8 years because it stunk so much. Get the original Aladdin when it comes out on DVD. Yeah, which was quite a while ago because this is like 2004 or whatever. It's much better than this garbage. Don't waste your time. Yeah. Interesting review. Okay, the next one I read is actually going to be a good review here, Matt. Ready for this? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's from Jander1 back in June of 2000. So 19 years ago. The headline is, anyone who thinks this movie is crap is crap. This is an excellent movie with cute songs and more good acting and voices. Despite the fact that Robin Williams does not do the voice of the genie, it is still a cute movie and good to show your children. Also, it teaches some good morals about friendship and love and should not be criticized. Just because it's not a stupid horror movie or some stupid movie like Snow White does not mean it is not an excellent movie to most people and children.
Wow.
Just because it's not a stupid horror movie or some stupid movie like Snow White.
It's like it goes from a horror movie to Snow White. Like, okay.
You think Return of Jafar is better than Snow White, the first feature animated film from Disney.
Wow.
The classic film, Snow White. Unless they're talking about maybe the Good Times version of Snow White or one of those type of things. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but I mean, Snow White is a classic. It's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Come on, man. This is 2000.
This is making me mad. Okay, anyways, I shouldn't let that do that. Anyways, one last question here for you, Matthew.
Yeah.
Who would you recommend this movie to if you were to recommend it to anyone?
A person that I don't like. And that they have to waste like an hour and 15 minutes or whatever. Not even an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know.
Just a little bit over an hour. An hour and 9 minutes.
I would recommend it to anyone who claims that this is better than Snow White. And then to watch Snow White right afterwards.
And then ask them if they still think
that Return of Jafar is better than fucking Snow White. Because, come on. Like,
I really want an 8-page paper. Single-spaced. Typed out to explain the merits of Return of Jafar over Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay. You talk about friendship. Okay, Snow White's all about friendship right there. Morality. I mean, like, it's all there in much more quantity and quality.
Yes.
Than Return of fucking Jafar.
Not to mention innovation and animation.
Sorry, I'm not sure if we're supposed to cuss now, because I've heard that podcasts now get flagged or whatever. Or is that YouTube videos?
It's sure. YouTube.
Oh, okay, so
yeah, all right. Yeah, we can cuss all the fuck we want to, man. Yeah, because basically I tag our videos anyways as explicit. Okay, you get the choice when you put them up on the platforms.
Okay,
so yeah. Just to warn people, so people know that we cuss.
Okay, all right.
And most podcasts I listen to, they cuss on
little
anyways.
bit, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a few clean ones like How Stuff Works and stuff like that. Or not How. Yeah, no, How Stuff Works. Yeah, most of their podcasts on their one side are, but then they're like comedic ones. They don't care if you cuss on those.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just the yeah, and I mean, hell, Mark Maron hosts a podcast called What the Fuck, and he opens every episode calling people fuckers and
Right. Right.
so I'm just saying.
What's he say? What
the
fuckers? What the fuck? Or sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck? Fucking ears and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Anyways,
All right, let's start the show. Sorry, I don't want to get pained by.
No, we'll be good.
Bound, da 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 da. Yeah. No.
Anyways, that was beautiful, Matt. I'm gonna cry, and it has nothing to do with that though. I'm just gonna cry
Aw.
because I got stuff deep down inside.
And you had to watch Return of Jafar to get any sense of
feeling,
even though. Okay.
So, anyways, yeah, I actually enjoy this movie as I enjoyed it when I first saw it, and that's only because I really love Aladdin, and I liked the series. But my thing is with it, it's like it doesn't hold up, but it's still, especially in comparison to Aladdin and Snow White. Anyways, and horror movies.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyways, that's all I really have to say. Got anything else to add before we go here, Matt?
Nope.
All right. Well, be sure to tune in next time, folks, and same All Too Real 2 channel whatever time you want, because it's a podcast, so you can listen whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And yes, I said fuck.
Ooh.
So...
And don't be afraid to get all too... No, wait, that's the other one.
Yeah, no, we can do it, too.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to get All Too Real, too.
Two.
Okay, fuckers? Bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Haas. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.